Ladies and gentlemen, I have survived. I am back from the Midnight Mountain Marathon that I did in Wales a couple weeks ago. There was probably about 400 people running with me, which was absolutely amazing. It was sunny weather and it was boiling hot, and I remember sweating before I'd even started the race. By the time I got to the first checkpoint, I was thinking to myself, oh my god, why had I signed myself up for this? Before I even hit the first peak, I was genuinely knackered. Like, I was just completely drained. As soon as I got to the top of the first peak, my legs gave in. I tried putting one foot in front of the other, and I literally collapsed on the path. Everyone around me was obviously very concerned. They were like, hey, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I just can't move my legs. I was in so much pain, I literally just wanted to jump off the cliff next to me. It was horrible. By this time as well, everyone around me had just shot on ahead. They were completely gone, not in sight. The sun is setting in the distance and it is absolutely lovely. However, I have got the worst cramp all down my quads and my calves right now. Genuinely agonising, but I'm literally just focusing on putting one step in front of the other right now, guys. I was all alone for a good couple miles just on those peaks. The only people around me were probably about half a mile behind me. Two guys that were running together. They did eventually catch up to me at the second peak. We had a brief conversation about time and how quick we needed to be to get to the peak and complete the event. Realising we were behind, I was like, right guys, I'm going to see you later. And I just bombed it. Perfect place for a rest day. You guys have been trailing me for ages. However, I then faced the challenge of trying to climb back up that third peak. And I knew that I had to reach the summit by 9:30 p.m. So with all of my strength and energy, I climbed up that mountain as quick as I could. The lovely thing though was that I'd caught up with the herd. So there was a lot of encouragement between everyone. And thankfully I reached the top of that peak by 9:30. I can't even put it into words what it felt like to get to the top of that summit on time. It was absolutely amazing. I knew that from there, the majority of the race was all downhill. However, by this time, my legs were completely destroyed. I could barely lift them. Every slight movement in my legs was causing immense pain. But I kept saying to myself one thing, and that was, I will finish. Now, this is where it gets really bad, because as soon as I hit the bottom of that summit, the path turns to really rough ground. So there's loose stones everywhere. You cannot place your ankles and your feet down solidly. It is literally, you are slipping all over the place. There's mud, there's water, and these stones are dangerous, and people are running at full pelt over these. I was roughly 17 or 18 miles in of the 26 miles that I had to complete, and then I felt my foot break. What did I do? I kept running. I did what I had to do to reach the next checkpoint. At this point, I am aware that I need to make the third and final checkpoint by 10:45. Otherwise, the event organisers will simply not let you pass because you will not reach the finish line in time. So, with a broken foot, I continued to run. A couple of us and myself finally reached that 10:45 checkpoint, and we were literally on the cutoff. So with that in mind, I turned my headlamp on as it was pitch black now, and I headed into one of the loneliest parts of the trail. There was no one around me. It was complete blackness for the last 7 miles of this race. I was just hobbling along at the quickest speed I possibly could. And then out in the darkness, I see a light behind me, slowly catching up with me over the last couple miles. The runner behind me caught up, and we probably only had about 4 to 3 miles left. We hobbled along together, had a lot of lovely chat, so shout out to my boy Dale, who was there by my side for those last couple miles. We kept on going through the darkness, and finally, we reached the finish line. Now, we couldn't run, we could only hobble over that line, but we did it, and we got there in the end. I was so exhausted, but so thankful that I was just able to push through the challenge and get to that finish line, which obviously I was then awarded the completion medal for taking on one of the toughest marathons in the entire UK. The Brecon Beacons is an absolute monster. I kid you not, it was definitely, without a doubt, the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. I'm just reliving it in my brain right now. Because this took part in Wales and I live in Lincoln, I then had a 4-hour drive home. Thankfully, I, cut this up a little bit. I slept in my car overnight. Big mistake. In the morning, I could not move and I had to hobble into the gas station. But after a long drive, I finally got home and could then put my feet up and get a bath and shower, clean myself off all of the mud and sweat and grime, just shower it off me. It was absolutely disgusting. With a broken foot, I had to go into hospital, get that checked out. Thankfully, I'm pretty much all recovered now, so hi, yes, this is why I'm back now. But that is the journey of the Brecon Beacons Midnight Mountain Marathon. We've done it, it's completed, it's ticked off the list of things that I wanted to do. Yeah, let's see what's next.